Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My strategic ambiguity is over. Now we're clear as daylight at what side we take. Strategic ambiguity as a principle is used politically so that you keep your options open when you're dealing with two diametrically opposed situations or two opposed regions or nations or parties. In our case, we're dealing with an oppressive regime in Harare, which is ZANU-PF, which we have been prophesying to, negotiating with, trying to bring into a place of understanding so that we can grow the economy, we can take our country forward. At the same time, we have got opposing parties outside Zimbabwe, opposing interests outside Zimbabwe that ZANU-PF hates, that also have got an option of engaging with us, and we have been engaging with them, negotiating with, in order to create a platform for a successful Zimbabwe. The global powers also compete for geopolitical dominance in Zimbabwe. And as a political movement, we take a position that will determine which side we stick with. So strategic ambiguity is useful when you do not want to show your cards straight up, to keep your option open. If ZANU-PF wants to work with the Zimbabweans, you go for a government of national unity together with them. If they do not want, we straight up remove them from power using even their own very own enemies. As I said, our strategic ambiguity is over. We no longer stand with ZANU-PF. We no longer negotiate with ZANU-PF. We no longer make videos that try to put ZANU-PF into some place of understanding. Perhaps they might agree, we might agree on point 1, 2, 3, and disagree on 4, 5, 6, and say, no, there is no seeing anymore. We have seen that the scene in ZANU-PF has got no interest in negotiating with the Zimbabweans. ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa and the Zimbabwe military as well are interested in oppressing the Zimbabweans and nothing else. To them, negotiating is they don't want. They don't want, because they see themselves at a position where they do not need to negotiate. Take a look at what they're doing to Nelson Chamisa and Triple C through Songezo Chabang. Nelson Chamisa said he's not going to have structures because ZANU-PF abuses these structures. Then you know what? ZANU-PF invents a structure for Nelson Chamisa, comes up with Songezo Chabang, who decimates the Triple C in front of Chamisa, in front of vanhu vaChamisa. That's why I always say kuti Chamisa ane vanhu hazvishandi, because now as Songezo is destroying Triple C, what are the vanhu vacho doing? You do not want to be a political leader with a majority that is useless. Oh yes, I know I'm gonna hate you Zimbabweans. I'm going to say that you Zimbabweans who support National Chamisa, you are useless. Because why is Mnangagwa and Chabango destroying Triple C and you're just watching? So what is the use of you following Chamisa? What is your... Why does Chamisa need you? One thing I learned from this is that our movement does not need these Zimbabweans, this majority. You don't need them. Because even if you have them, what are they going to do for you? These Zimbabweans, they say they won the elections. Mnangagwa said you had 1.8, him 2.3. But these Zimbabweans that support Nelson Chamisa, they say they're in the majority. I mean, if you're in the majority, how then is an election stolen from you and to do nothing? You're useless. Okay, prove me wrong. You see, I made a video last time about Zimbabweans being useless. And a few people commented, I really want to trigger something in you Zimbabweans, that if you are proving me wrong that you are not useless, I want you to see you defending your leader and your vote. If you're not going to do that, I'll do it for you. And I will do it without the people. I've come to a realization that in order for me to take Zimbabwe forward, I do not even need the majority of Zimbabweans. Because even if you have them, they are utterly useless. They are too scared of Mnangagwa, too scared of the Zimbabwean military. You can't do anything of value with them. There can be many of them in the diaspora, in the Kayaspora, in the Zanuspora or Hararaspora, whatever, wherever they are. They're all good for nothing. I am looking for people who will join us, who are good for something, who are valuable, who get things done, who will strike a chord, who will get relations on the table, who will get ZANU-PF moving out of power. Since ZANU-PF does not want to negotiate with us, we are no longer strategically ambiguous too. We too do not negotiate with ZANU-PF. You know what I mean when I say we? When I say we, I'm talking about me and those of you who are heartful of ZANU-PF and recognize that Chamisa is being lied to, or he himself is lying, or he's being deceived, or he himself is deceiving himself and also the people that follow him. We have got a chance here and an opportunity to make a change. And that opportunity can make a change, can happen if we are decisive as Zimbabweans. Our global friends have got a willingness to help us carry through our adventure, to carry through with our adventure, as we have adventurous spirit, unlike Chamisa, who clearly doesn't have. But we need to be decisive and definitive that the new government does not include ZANU-PF any longer. We need to make it clear to our global partners that indeed, all along, we have been trying to engage ZANU-PF. We have been making videos that allude to a future in which ZANU-PF has got a place to play, but we have moved on from that position. Now, this is not flip-flopping. It is moving on with a reason. We stayed, you know, look at my videos. We have tried to be nice to Mnangagwa, to be nice to the military, to be nice to ZANU-PF people so that they can understand where we're coming from. But they're not interested. So therefore, politically, we shift and align ourselves with the global powers that are going to come to our rescue. At least there's still some ambiguity there as far as global partners are concerned, because we also demand a clear indication from them that they are committing fully to the new Zimbabwe led by us, not by ZANU-PF or Nelson Chamisa. And we will work together and build the whole of Africa. He who supports us will get Africa. He who does not support us will lose Africa. This is what I have to tell you. I promise you glory to all of you that will walk with me. And shame will be for those who would see this movement grow and will only say in the future, what a missed opportunity. We were stubborn when the young man was speaking to us. We undervalued him. We underrated him because he stammers and he's got no money. I've got the Lord. The Lord will see us through, because this is not our battle. The battle belongs to the Lord. Okay, it is Him who called us here to get into this journey of getting rid of ZANU-PF members and the people in government. Remember, ZANU-PF should be removed because it is the governing party. Then there is people in government, in the military, in the reserve bank, and the general governance system of Zimbabwe. All those people in those jobs must be fired. whether they are ZPF or not. In our new government, we are going to start with a new slate. Many government ministries, my permanent secretaries, all of them, they're going. SIMSEC going. Health going. Municipalities going. You're only going to be left with the mayors and councillors because they're elected by the people. Anybody who has got a government job, who your job is hanging by the thread. If I become president, you pray, you keep on supporting the Chete Brigade, because perhaps that's the only one that is going to allow you to carry on with looting, especially the Zimbabwe military. No one will be left, from Valerius Ubanda to the bottom. Everyone that you see in the Zimbabwe military, they will be gone. All those top positions will fill in with junior soldiers. There is enough junior soldiers in the junior ranks who have never been promoted, but who actually love Zimbabwe. And God is going to sniff them. Listen here, may I be a prophet of God. I walk with the Holy Spirit. He knows, God knows them by heart and by name. They might be abused and mistreated in some military barracks somewhere in Balabala or other barracks around the country, and no one cares about them, but the Holy Spirit knows them. When I become president, I'm gonna go and pick them out of the rub, like a man picks a coin in a rubble. I'm gonna go and pick them from the abyss and set them up to lead the nation, because I know they are there. And I'm not going to do it because I know who I want, but I'm going to do it because God is going to show me who is necessary to be put in the positions that they need to be put in. These are the people that are going to be in the new Zimbabwe military. They are junior soldiers, and the Lord knows them by heart. And I feel some of them are even in the Holy God. Some of them are even in the presidential guard. In the current presidential guard, there is also people there. I feel in my spirit, the Lord confirmed. There's people right now in Mnangagwa's presidential guide right now that God has got his eyes on, who are going to be part of the new military, new military leadership. I'm talking about military leadership. The rest of the soldiers in my government, all soldiers of Zimbabwe, are going to receive free housing. You're not going to be a soldier in Zimbabwe and rocha. Your uniform is torn. You're queuing with people, Makombi, and people laughing at you, and you're wearing a torn jersey. My soldier, I'm telling you, my promise to all soldiers in Zimbabwe, in the new Zimbabwe, you are all going to get free housing. I'm not talking about subsidized housing. No, free housing. I'm not talking about housing in the barracks. No, your whole houses in the suburbs where other people stay. You will have options of which city you want to have your house in, or even which selected suburbs, according to whatever criteria we're going to use. Whichever suburb you want to be in, we're not going to have a suburb of soldiers only. No, you want them to be in the general populace, but the houses must be paid for fully by my government. There is no, don't ask me where am I going to get the money from. Where am I going to get the money from? From the 15 billion that Mnangagwa and General Chiwenga stole from Chiaza Diamonds. I'm going to get them from overseas and build houses for our soldiers. Okay, affordable car dealerships for our soldiers. The life of a Zimbabwean soldier in my government is going to be easy. Why I say so? Because it is my soldiers who are my heroes who are going to remove this Iti Mnangagwa from power and maintain peace and order in Zimbabwe. They are the ones that need to be respected. Right now, the soldiers of Zimbabwe are not respected. It's only Valerio Sebanda and the thugs in the military who are having, who are enjoying all the wealth of the country, whilst the 20,000 other junior soldiers around the country are suffering and they're languishing in poverty. And I'm going to see to it that all of those 20,000 soldiers, as the head of state and and commander of the defense forces of Zimbabwe, I will say to it that they all have free housing, they have a decent salary that is above a living wage, but which is commensurate with the job that they're doing as the national protectors of our sovereignty. That is key. That is key to maintaining a successful state, moving from being a banana republic to be a successful, well oiled, well run country with clear cut leadership, with clear goals and intentions, and clear cut vision that everybody can easily comprehend and rally behind. Our captains of industry that have been abused, of not, I can talk about Mtuma Mawere, I can talk about Strive Masiwe, I can talk about there's a lot of our captains of industry that have been abused and and and, and mistreated by this ZANU PF regime. In my government, my office is going to be open to them so that we can discuss industrialization. We discuss ways in which their companies can grow not only in Zimbabwe but to become multinationals. An environment where the leader of the state and the government in authority is not jealousy of the success of fellow citizens. A government led by politicians who support private ownership of businesses and enterprise, that support ingenuity, entrepreneurship. That is the kind of industry that we're building. So, those of you industry, dump Chamisa. He's taking you nowhere. I'm the future. We're gonna build a successful country. Well, even if we do not dump him, he's still not gonna take you anyway because he's not going anywhere. Anyway, whether he has got the people or not, whether he has got you industrialists or not, what are you going to do with him? But if you come to me, I will tell you what to do so that we can move forward without the thief that Mnangagwa is. Now, I have come to clarify clearly what Mnangagwa, General Chiwenga, and the Zimbabwean military are. They are thieves. Okay, this is how I I view them going forward. Those are like thieves that you meet in the street and they take out a gun, the Zimbabwe military, and say, bring your phone. And then because you fear them, you check them, you give them your phone because you fear death. And then you'll be begging them for your SIM card. Say, please, Maputi, please, Maputi, SIM card yam. That's what Triple C is doing to ZANU PF and the military. Say, please, sicela amasitsi eHarare la kobulawa, sicela usongezo, please, recall. Because we've got a gun on your head and the thief has taken your country and you are begging for a SIM card. Chamisa beg for SIM card. I didn't get a minister with my SIM card. One of the most foolish things I've ever heard in Zimbabwe politics is that when Nelson Chamisa was minister, he brought SIM cards to Zimbabwe. Are you telling me that if Nelson Chamisa was never minister of communications, the whole world was going to have SIM cards, except Zimbabwe, because Chamisa would not have done it? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's like when it's Tembisenyoni one. She want to tell people in the rural areas that she got an Econet booster. And then she won an election. People believed her. So are you telling me that Econet was never going to put that booster if Tembisonyoni never contested in that election? Just lies. Silly things that these politicians that you people trust, like Chamisa, run with. And you just all believe. And just all believe like Liloiwe. As we can see, I am a no-nonsense person, and I'm not a crowd pleaser. I'm not what the crowd is looking for. I am what the country needs. There's a difference there. The crowd wants a nice guy who tells them the nicest things that they've ever heard before. You're not going to get that with me. With me, you're going to get progress, things that are of utmost importance. So we need the junior soldiers, the rest of the soldiers on our side. We will not have a civil war in Zimbabwe. It is costly, unnecessary, and uncalled for. We just need to fire the wrong people that are in charge of the military weaponry of the country, which are all the generals. When I am president, I will fire all of them. They must go. And I'm saying that because this is what God himself instructed me. This is a divine instruction that God gave me. God said to me, son, if I make you president of Zimbabwe, what you must do is to fire all of those military generals, all of them. If you think I'm lying, go pray and fast and ask God if it is true what I'm saying. He will tell you the same thing. Because he's holy. Those are robbers. Those but generally my robbers. We are not afraid of the Zimbabwean military as an institution because it is ours. But we need to get rid of the rotten apples that are running that organization. From Valerio Sibanda himself, as you can see, I'm changing tone. Before, I used to deliberately avoid mentioning Valerio Sibanda. Do you know why? Because I thought that perhaps something is going to come from him. But it seems like nothing is coming from him. So we move on to the next stage of also branding him as a thief and an unnecessary agent in the New Zimbabwe. He will be an impediment if we move forward with him. I want you to get away from that notion that the military must remove Itim Mnangagwa, then we go along. Do you think that Valerio Sibanda and uh, and uh, and and General Chiwenga, if they remove Itim Mnangagwa, do you think that in the new government they will not want to carry on looting? We know that Chiwenga is looting dry the health sector. Your health, he is the vice president and the minister of health, but he is stealing money from the minister of health. 90% of the budget in the minister of health is being looted by Chiwenga and his cronies. And that guy doesn't care about your diseases, your pain, because people die because there's no medicine. I understand someone who steals a money like what can I say? What can I say? A headmaster who steals the money that was supposed to buy exercise books, okay? And then he says parents must buy exercise books. How about a minister of health who steals the critical medicine that was supposed to keep your mother and father alive? Then they die. People have died because of lack of adequate health facilities in Zimbabwe. And General Chiwenga doesn't care. And you're telling me that General Chiwenga in the next government, no muda by government. That's why God was saying to me, he's angry at them. Well, these are not the kind of people that you build a government with. These are not the kind of people that you negotiate a new government with. As that's why I'm saying that our strategic ambiguity is over. The purpose of strategic ambiguity is to keep the door open for people like thugs like ZANU-PF, so that at least perhaps they're going to change their mind. But then you are not strategically ambiguous forever. At some point you get to a point where now you draw the line and say, well, seeing that they are not coming, therefore it means we dump the strategic ambiguity and begin now to be clear as daylight that we are against 100% against ZANU-PF, and we are not going to negotiate with them. We are moving forward to remove them from power. And General Chiwenga and Valerio Sibanda and the whole Zimbabwe military generals, we are replacing them with junior soldiers. And some of them are currently in the presidential guard. And when that happens, all soldiers in Zimbabwe are going to receive free houses and an affordable car ownership option. The country does not have an adequate credit system. We need to start that credit system by giving uh, credit to soldiers to buy their cars of their own choice, because we are celebrating them as heroes who have taken us out of the menace which is ZANU-PF. And by soldiers, I do not mean Valerio Sibanda or any of those looters who want us to respect them. There is a difference. I can't be a head of state and commander of the defense forces of Zimbabwe when it's actually you should rather call me a commander of the looting forces of Zimbabwe. I can't be that. So the looters must go. The looters in the military, I will fire them before the sun comes up. So if you're in the military and you're part of the looting class, do not look at me anymore as somebody to negotiate with, because I've given you 2 years to negotiate with, but then you have refused. Therefore, going forward, I am not including you in my plans of the new Zimbabwe. Know very well that I will fire you. And it will be my right as the head of state. And even now, as a citizen, it is my right to complain and to lodge a complaint to the general citizens about the menace that we are branding you as thieves, Zimbabwe military leaders. I will remove you and I will replace you with your juniors, the ones that you disdain, the ones that are not part of your looting class, the ones that you hate, the ones that you undermine, the ones that the Holy Spirit knows about. And He is preparing them. You won't know how God is going to prepare them. You do not know how God is going to use them to bring the country forward. These are the soldiers that are going to take the country forward with. And there will be new generals. Apana kana one general Ashasara. There's going to be new generals from the underclass that you're going to see them being up there with me and taking Zimbabwe forward. Without you eating, without General Chiwenga, without Chamisa, because he's just doing nothing. Without Triple C, without this whole shenanigan, it's going to go. All of it. The Spirit of God is still quiet on Zimbabwean intelligence. And I know one of these days he's going to break forth. And I will tell you what he's saying to me. But as far as the military is concerned, Morogi and Amese, God is angry at all of you. This one who was getting married, that Chiwenga and her wife, they must know that they are going to. Her wife is going to. Everyone. Because we are looting instead of doing your job of protecting the integrity of the nation. You are looting, so you shall go. That's how we're going to take this revolution forward, this country forward. We're not here to play games. And you know what? A lot of our Zimbabweans undermine us, this movement. They do not know us. It's okay. Let me tell you, it is okay. Because they are with Chamisa doing what? Chamisa. Yeah. There's no progress. I am taking into my fault all junior soldiers and all soldiers of Zimbabwe and commanding going forward that we begin to destroy the looters in chief and set up a country afresh, a country that is going to be enjoyed by all men and women who call Zimbabwe home. My name is Ngobane Zondo, and I've already started leading the true revolution that will set Zimbabwe free from the evil and menace of ZANU-PF and the Zimbabwe military leadership. We shall show the world how it's done. We remove all of them. These are just individuals. It's not an institution. They are individuals. We know them by name. They must all be fired and removed from positions of authority and never be part of government ever again. Then we can have a clean slate, a clean new government that God is going to deliver unto our hands. And all soldiers will receive free housing and a credit system, a credit plan for car ownership, good pay that is respectable. We will rebuild the public trust on the Zimbabwe military. We will launch rebuilding schemes, feeding schemes across the country that will see the military visibility across all sectors. Soldiers will be deployed to primary schools and secondary schools in, in rural areas and urban areas to cook food for the hungry, suffering Zimbabweans. I need our primary school children to see the military men wearing military uniform, cooking for them, so that they can be a regaining of the public trust of the institution, which is the Zimbabwe military. Because right now, the general public does not trust the military. They view the military as people who want to kill them, who want to shoot them. I want, going forward, the Zimbabweans to view the military as people that save them, that help them. I want the military men in the morning in primary schools directing uh, traffic, not just the police, but military men as well, so that our little kids can know that Zimbabwean military men are there to save and protect, not to kill. We need to rebuild that public trust. I need to have our military generals directing and leading in the building of the nation's roads and in building of the nation's infrastructure. They should be part and parcel of this rebuilding of the country, and the public must see them visible and know that our military is our military in the state of Zimbabwe serves the purposes of protecting their physical well-being, their emotional well-being, protecting their human rights, and put good service. You see, I'm wearing a restaurant uniform, being a waiter for over 20 years. There's one attribute that I carry that no one in ZANU-PF has: good service. I will fill my government with people who are former waiters, because I will tell you something about waiters who have worked in the hospitality industry. They understand what ZANU-PF doesn't understand, which is good service is essential for the development and for the success of any organization. All waiters will smile at you and be nice at you, even though they are going through a depression in their own private lives. And they value good service. They know by head 10 steps of service. They know how to separate their own personal lives to their professional jobs. If I have waiters heading my government institutions, I know that my people are going to be well served. Service delivery will tremendously improve, because I'll be working with people that understand the value of putting the interests of the public first before theirs. People who work for tips are very good at that. So this government is going to be made up of people who are hungry for success, people who are willing to put in the effort, not thieves. I don't honor thieves, but I honor people who put in the hard work and expect deliverables, and I mean, who will deliver and will be compensated according to their input, and are not seeking unfair advantage or unjustifiable compensation. This is where we're going. As a new head of state, I will ensure that all of those systems are in place, and they are adhered to. This is the glory of God that I'm communicating at the moment. This is what God wants. This is how the Lord wants Zimbabwe to develop, by removing my general ese, ZANU-PF ese, ED, nema-deputy wabo bese, all of them gone with the wind, never to be seen again. God said to me, son, if you lead a government with those military generals still around, they will kill you, because they're not interested at all. Do you understand what we're dealing with here? They are not interested. You see, this Chamisa guy, he thinks that Sadiq is not going to send his own military to fight the Zimbabwean military. Okay, they can make a recommendation. These military men are not interested in setting Zimbabwe free. Even if for some reason they might be against Mnangagwa and decide to put in Chamisa, they are not going to put Chamisa so that Chamisa will build Zimbabwe. They will be having a gun on Chamisa's head so that Chamisa will be president of Zimbabwe. Yes, you will all celebrate Mchipembera, but he will not be allowed to stop them from stealing because of having a bullet on his head. I am saying, when I become a president, I will take away the bullet from their hands so that they will not hold me under duress to let me allow them to steal diamonds from Chiazwa. Talking about Chiazwa, the moment I'm becoming president, there will be no more looting in Chiazwa. All those Chinese, I'm going to expel them. Oh yes, sir. Zimbabwe military generals and the Chinese, I'm going to expel all of them, and I'm going to make it to be 100% owned by the Zimbabwe government. And not only, not 100% by Zimbabwe government, maybe 90% or so. We will decide on a percentage. There is a small percentage that must be owned by the community of Chiazwa, number one, and number two, by the victims of the Chiazwa Diamond massacre. Some victims are from that region and some victims are from all over Zimbabwe. Their families need to benefit going forward from the diamonds that are currently being looted. And the money that they have banked in international banks, I'm going to follow it. All right. I'm going to make friends with JP Morgan. I'm going to make friends with HSBC. I'm going to make friends with KPMG. I'm going to make friends with the EY, with everybody. I'm going to leave no stone unturned until all the looted billions come back to Zimbabwe and rebuild our country. And I will put those liars and deceivers in jail if they do not cooperate with us. Only if they make a deal with us that will help us to get our money back will they be free. Otherwise, we'll put them in jail until they tell us where our money is. Don't play. Holy is God. We're at war. This is a declaration of war. Listen here. Listen, Msatambe, Renguva. All right, we are no longer going forward with negotiating with ZANU-PF. The United States has got a motto: they do not negotiate with terrorists. Even us as Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF has been terrorizing us. ZANU-PF and the Zimbabwe military, they are terrorists whom we should not negotiate with any longer, but do what we see is necessary to do. And I will not tell you what we will do, because the one who knows what we will do is God. And he too is not telling me, which is a good thing, because I don't want to know. He will do it when he does it. Whichever way he does it. By the hand of the Lord, the country is going to be delivered. Then you shall know that the one that is speaking to you is the hand of the Lord. Holy is the Lord. My name is Ngobani Zondo, and I'm taking Zimbabwe forward out of this abyss, out of this abuse, out of this terrorism of ZANU-PF and the Zimbabwe military. And the whole world will know that Jesus Christ is Lord, and his hand is mighty to save those who lift their heads and lift their hands and cry to him for salvation. His answer has finally come. Look no further, for it is a time like this and a place like this where the Lord will begin to do his miracles. Have a great evening.